everybody, welcome in. Happy Tuesday to you, my friends. I hope you are having a wonderful one. So, how's it going? How's it going? I hope that you have had a wonderful week so far. I hope your Monday was as painless as Mondays can be, because Mondays can be hard. So, I hope that yours went well. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Miss Gina. Sandy is here. Sandy, I already made my announcement. I'll talk about it a little bit more here in just a few minutes. But I made that announcement last week, and you may have missed it. That's okay. I'll let you know about it here in just a second. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Susie. Miss Wendy. Hello, Sue. Hi, Mary. Hi, Raina. Hello, hello. So many of you. I'm so happy to see all of you. Hi, Kathleen. All right, friends. So it's Tuesday. It's time for our weekly project, and we are going to get into that very, very soon. I'm not going to be doing the bargain beadbox just yet because I know some of you still don't have yours yet. So we'll wait to do bargain beadbox until next Tuesday. So set your reminders if you're looking forward to that. That will be next Tuesday. That's going to be the day that we work on the bargain beadbox. And I believe next week is when the companion bundle drops. It's either next week or the week after that. So we'll keep an eye on that as well, because I definitely want to grab the companion bundle to go with this one. If you've not seen this month's bargain beadbox yet, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's really, really lovely. It is so lovely. So I hope that you get yours soon and enjoy working with it. It's gonna be good. This Friday? Is it coming out this Friday? Wendy says it's this Friday. Wendy, keep me posted because I don't want to miss it. I will miss it. I will. My brain is in so many different places. I totally will miss it. So, all right. So let's talk about all the things, shall we? Let's talk about what we've got going on. So this week I've got something extra special going on tonight. So everybody set your reminders for 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will be going live on iHeartJewels.com. iHeartJewels.com. If you have not already marked it, added it to your calendar, and set your reminders for it, please be sure that you do so. I would love for you to join me. I would love for you to invite everybody that you know to join me, because this is not just for jewelry makers. This is for jewelry lovers. So anybody can be a jewelry lover, right? And because of that, it means that this is shareable way further out than just our little community here. So I would appreciate it if you would join me, and if you would share it around and let some people know, because I know a lot of people are getting ready to do their holiday shopping or are working on their holiday shopping. And I will be going live with some very special holiday pricing. So that is the plan for tonight. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you a quick little rundown, and then you can decide whether or not you would like to join me or not. But I will be, my hair is sitting on its pulling, sorry. I will be going live on a jewelry website called iHeartJewels.com. Now, the website is relatively new, but the company that owns that website has actually been in the jewelry business for over 50 years. They own several different jewelry companies, and they supply jewelry to a lot of high name jewelry stores. This just happens to be one of their personally owned outlets for selling their jewelry, and that is iHeartJewels.com. So I would love it if you would join me. I will be showing off some really beautiful pieces of jewelry. I have things in all price ranges. Now, let me tell you, this is finished pieces of jewelry. This is gold jewelry. This is diamond jewelry. This is jewelry. So we're not talking about, it's definitely going to be priced much higher than my kits are, obviously. So we're talking, I've got price ranges that are from around $20 to the most expensive piece of jewelry that I have in the show is $4,000, and there's only one of those. And I think I'm just showing it off just to show it off, quite honestly. I think that's why they had me add it to the show. I do not have multiple items that are in the $1,000 range. Don't even think that, because you won't even show up for that. Trust me when I say that there are price ranges all over the map. So there is something for everybody. And as I said, there are some very deep discounts going on right now because they have Black Friday pricing happening on their website right now. Plus, there are some very special show prices that are available just for tonight. So I would love it if you would come. I'm going to show off some rings, some earrings. I'm also doing a giveaway of a pair of gold earrings that the retail value on those, I cannot remember. But the giveaway tonight, I think the retail value on those is like $250. So yeah, I'm giving away some pretty earrings. So definitely want you to come and join that, because you might just win something sparkly and fun. But yeah, so that is on iHeartJewels.com. You can go ahead and go over there right now and set your reminders for it. You can also rewatch. So there will be a replay after the show is over tonight. If you missed it and you want to watch it again, you can do that. You can watch it on replay, and that replay remains shoppable. So you can still click on the items that I'm showing, even in the replay, to take you right to the items. Yes, there will be a replay. I just said that. Great minds. Yes, there will be a replay. So yeah, that's happening tonight. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Not here. That will be on iHeartJewels.com. So you have to go to iHeartJewels.com to see the show. I will be streaming it from my Instagram account if you would like to see it that way. But if you would like to enter into the giveaway, you do have to join us from the main website. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm going to show off some sparkly things, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you'll join me. All right. So my friends, yes, it's tonight. There's reminders, you guys, in the comment section too, to click on the links. It takes you right on over there. Thanks to my team for doing that, because I just now happened to look up and see that there are links being dropped. So I appreciate that. My team's the best. They're the best. Let's see. Anything else to tell you guys? I don't think so. It's been cold. I got snow. You guys know how much I love snow. I got snow yesterday. Well, it was Sunday night into yesterday. It snowed, and yesterday it snowed on and off all day long. It was snowing so much they called school off at like 1:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, first snow of the season. I was pretty excited about it, as you can imagine. So it's all gone today, and it is bright and sunny, but it is still very, very cold. But yeah, so if you are getting snow or cold weather and you don't want any of it, please send it to me, because I will take it from you gladly. I will happily take it. I get excited. That's one of my favorite things. So snow in November is pretty exciting. Nicole says cold in South Florida. I bet it is. Nicole, what is the temperature in South Florida? Because I know that when you're in Florida and you say it's cold, like to me, it's not the same cold, but to you, like it's cold. So I totally get that. I totally get that. All right. So since it is cold and the holidays are right around the corner, I thought we would do a fun project. This is a throwback project. We've actually done this before, but it has been many, many, many years ago. And I thought this would be a fun one to recreate using two of my favorite things. We're using the wire coiling gizmo, and we're using the Cone-tastic, both of which are Beadalon products. If you don't have either one of these, I know you can find them on Amazon or on the Beadalon website. However, you can coil your own wire. So you don't have to technically have the wire coiling gizmo, excuse me, to do this. As far as the Cone-tastic goes, I think you can probably do this on anything that is cone shaped. So even if you don't have a Cone-tastic, you can probably be able to do this too. So I think you guys will like this one. I'm going to turn you around, and actually I'm probably not going to turn you around just yet, because we're going to use the wire coiling gizmo. So I kind of have to have you front facing here in the beginning, but let me see if I can just set you down a little bit here. See if I can get this set up so that you can, I didn't even hook it up yet, because I wanted to be sure that we could all see it, how it's connected. So there are a couple of different versions. Hello. There are a couple of different versions of the wire coiling gizmo. I have the deluxe version, and I find that you can do this project with any of them. So it doesn't matter if you have the deluxe version or not, but the deluxe version has this, like, what do you call it? A chuck. Excuse me, something got me. Where you insert your mandrel. I'm gonna have to grab a sip of water, you guys. I apologize. So sorry. My goodness. I keep that close by. Okay, so you're going to attach this to your table by screwing that on. My goodness. And I'm going to try to keep this here in front of us so that you guys can see it. I don't know what it is, but something got me and now it's tickling my throat really badly. All right, so I'm just going to tighten this down, and then yes, you can coil with a drill. I've always wanted to do that. I have always wanted to do that. Okay, so now this is the other side. You're going to attach your mandrel here, and you're going to run it out this direction, which I know you can't see all of that without me showing off my messy, messy desk. But you're going to come to the other side of this. This is where your mandrel is going to go through. So we're going to attach that down here. And it doesn't really matter how far apart you put them. I know you're not going to be able to see both of them. Excuse me. Now, they come with mandrels already. I don't know what has happened to mine. Here they are. The deluxe one comes with extra long mandrels, and I think that's what makes this deluxe, is that you get a bunch of mandrels. You can see they're all different sizes, and they are quite long. I would say they're at least 18 inches, maybe 2 feet long. The other ones, though, are a little bit, what is the word? They're a little bit shorter. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Gina's asking for Susie's snow. I will fight you for it, okay? Anyway, the regular versions, excuse me, you can use, it's getting me. Oh my goodness. The regular versions, you can use the shorter mandrels to still get enough coiled wire to create this project. Now, the problem is that I don't have a mandrel that is thin enough. I think the smallest one here that I have, is I have lost the tiny one. I think the smallest mandrel here that I have is, I think it is a 3 millimeter. I'm going to double check. Yeah, it's a 3 millimeter. So it's going to make a 3 millimeter coil, right? The opening of that is going to, that's just not quite small enough for me. So one of the cool things about this is that you can use your own wire to do this. So I'm going to be using a piece of 16 gauge wire that is about 2 feet long. I'm going to use this as my mandrel. So I'm going to use this to coil my smaller wire around. So I'm going to open up the chuck right here, and I'm going to thread my 16 gauge piece of wire right in there. And it's not perfectly straight, but it's fine. It will still work. You do want to try to get it as straight as possible if you're using your own. And I'm just going to tighten that as much as I can. Okay. All right. Now, trying to get a good view of that as best as I can. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wire that I'm going to use to create my coil. Now, I've already coiled several pieces. I like to use 26 gauge or smaller for this, but you quite literally can use any gauge wire that you want. What has happened to my wire? Oh my goodness. Okay. I particularly like to use the coils that come in the by the dozen set. So there is a set of 12 little artistic wire colored coils that you can get. You can get them in the standard colors or in the silver plated colors, and they come in a ton of different sizes. So you can get them all the way from like 20 gauge, maybe even 18 gauge, all the way down to like 30 gauge, I think. I don't know for sure, but The one that I am using for our project is the 26 gauge. So what you do, and I know this is going to be kind of hard to see, but you're just going to take the end of your wire and you're going to take it and make like a little bend in it, just like that. And then you're going to stick it into the chuck right next to your mandrel. And then you're going to start to turn. So this does have that crank on it, which I know you can't see at the moment, but I'm going to start to turn. And after you've turned maybe 2 or 3 times, then you'll know for sure if you've actually got this like connected correctly. If you don't, it'll start to spin and you'll have to reset your 26 gauge wire or whatever the gauge is that you're using. Okay, so I'm going to just continue to coil. Now that I know that it is nice and secure, I'm going to create my coil here, and I'm just working directly from the spool, okay? Because I don't know how much wire this is going to take. I can tell you, though, that it does take quite a bit of wire to do this. And I'm holding that wire as it is coiling. I'm kind of pushing on it. I don't know if you can tell or not. I'm kind of pushing on it with my finger. See where I've got my finger just like right up against the glare is really weird here. I apologize. This is not a normal angle that we would film from, but I'm kind of holding the wire as close as I can. So you can use your fingertips to do that. You can just kind of lay your finger up against it like I'm doing. But that just kind of helps to guide the wire as you are winding it up so that you don't end up with great big spaces between. And you can see I still have a couple of spaces in between there, but I can kind of scoop my wire over. Small spaces are not that big of a deal, but the larger spaces are what you don't want. I don't want big gaps between my coils. So for the project, you're going to need about 12 inches of the coils to create your project. You can do this in any color. We're going to make Christmas trees out of our coils. However, you could use these coils for all kinds of other things too. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you can actually buy pre-coiled wire. I've not ever seen it in colors, but I do know that you can get it in like silver color or gold color already coiled. Also, if you don't have a wire coiling gizmo, you can do this by hand just by wrapping the wire around the 16 gauge wire or other mandrel. It just takes a bit longer. But I just pull out a little bit from the spool and we'll wind that up and then pull out a little bit more. With the coils like this that come in the by the dozen containers or packaging rather, I can get maybe 2.5 to 3 really long coils out of the wire that's on them. But if I know that I am only going to make maybe 3 coils in green, that to me is the most cost-effective way to purchase the colored wire, because then I have 11 other colors that I can play with. So, you know, unless you're going to be making a ton of Christmas trees or a ton of things in green, it really doesn't make sense to buy, you know, a big 30-foot spool or whatever it is of the green wire. It's more cost effective, at least to me, to get the tiny ones in the by the dozen, and then I've got a lot of other colors I can play with. Makes a lot more projects. I think so too, Susie. I really like using the coiling gizmo. It is a lot of fun, and once you have the wire all coiled up, you can create so many different fun things with it. But it's cool because you can just sit and coil while you're watching TV or listening to a podcast or whatever. And you can see it coils up pretty quickly. All right, so I have come to the end of this piece of wire. me show you so you can see. All right, I'm going to show you how to take this off of here. So I'm just loosening this up, okay? And then I'm going to slide the mandrel out. You can see where my 26 gauge wire was attached. And then I'm just going to slide this wire right off, just like that. So now I can save this 16 gauge wire piece for another time to make my coils with. So I can just sit that to the side or whatever you want to do. All right, I'm going to turn you around now and we are going to take a look at what we can do with these coils. Okay. Let me take this off the table though, because it's kind of in the way of my elbows now. It does really tighten to the table nicely though, so it's nice and sturdy. You don't have to worry that it's going to come off, which I don't want to have to fight with my tools. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to do what I need to do and then call it a day. All right, let me show you. So I've done one already in this like bright green. This green also came out of one of those by the dozen packages. And then this is the one that we just did together. So you can see now it's just like, it's like a straw. It's like a wire coiled straw that you can use for all kinds of things, right? We're going to use ours to make a little Christmas tree. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to turn mine into a little Christmas tree pendant with some dangles on the bottom because dangles are fun. You could make them pendants. You could make them earrings. You could make them Christmas decorations. You don't even have to turn them into trees if you don't want to. These could quite literally be anything. This could be, you know, the cone part of the end of a multi-strand design. You could use this on the end of your kumihimo. You could use this for any number of things, right? Because it's a nice big coiled cone-shaped bead that we're going to create with our Conetastic here in just a second. But you can see how I've used that coiled wire on the Conetastic. I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. But these are the coils that I created. Let me grab my cutter tool because one of the things that you do have to do before you use any of this is cut off any of the little ends. So that little piece that was attached to my chuck, I'm going to cut that off, and then this little piece as well. You can also cut these into like little sections. Like if you only wanted like a little coiled piece that was like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch long to use as a spacer on another project, you can string these on, you know, you could cut little sections and make little coiled beads to add to your bead stringing wire, to your artistic wires or whatever you want to add them to. You can add them to memory wire. Like there's so many things you can do with coils. I absolutely love them. And they're quick and easy to make. All right, I'm actually going to use the neon green one for our project today. This one is kind of like Grinch green. And I'm going to be using this in conjunction with my Conetastic. So if you don't have a Conetastic, this is also another one of my favorite tools. I think the Conetastic and the wire coiling gizmo were made to work together just because of the fun things that you can create. But if you've never seen a Conetastic before, let me explain it to you. So when you get it, this is what it looks like. It just looks like a handle, basically. It's just the grippy part of some other tool. The rest of this is actually on the inside, which is very handy indeed. So you're going to unscrew the bottom, and then you can dump out the mandrels. So there are 3 different sizes and an Allen key. And the 3 different sizes, hi, Wanda. The 3 different sizes here, we have large, medium, and small to make cones out of. Now, I'm going to tell you about these real quick because I don't want you to grab a Conetastic and then be disappointed when you get your Conetastic home. Let me give you the disclaimer when it comes to the Conetastic, okay, and the cones. The smallest cone mandrel, this one right here, I can make a perfect cone out of. In other words, I can attach it to the handle here, put my wire on it and coil the wire around, and I can create a perfect cone with no spaces in between of my cone. The bigger the mandrel, the bigger the spaces between your wire wraps you're going to have. That's just kind of the way that this works. So with this one, I can get almost a perfect cone, but not quite. By the time I get to the top where I'm coiling towards the top, there are some spaces between my wires. With this one, no way. I cannot, no matter what I do, I cannot get a perfectly thick, perfectly lined up coil. And the reason is because of the way this is designed. It's just part of the cone shape. So you start wrapping around and your wire is fine. We can actually do this. Let me just show you instead of talking to you about it. And then we'll put our coiled wire on there. So you're going to use your Allen key to open this up just a little bit so that you can slide your cone in there. And then you're going to take your Allen key and you are going to tighten that back up. Okay. Now you have the tool ready to use. Okay. So you would take your wire. Let me grab some wire here. All right. I'm going to use some 20 gauge. That's what we're going to be using to create our Christmas tree with here in a second. But I'm going to use this 20 gauge also for the demonstration purposes. So you take your wire. You can see there's an opening here. You're going to take the end of your wire, stick it through there, push it down and hold it with your finger. Okay. Then you're going to just start coiling your wire around the mandrel, right? Seems easy enough. And when you get started, it's pretty easy. Once it starts to taper, that's when things kind of take a turn. Because watch what's going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with this. This is the way this tool is intended to work. I just don't want you to get this home and be disappointed with the way that your cones turn out. So you can already see how the spaces are starting to form between the wires. Do you see what happens? So no matter how hard you push, no matter how tightly you pull on this wire, that's kind of what you're going to get. And it's just because that's the way this tool is shaped. Like there's no way around it. However, they did come up with an inverted cone end. So if you want to buy attachments to go with your Conetastic, the inverted cones go this direction. So they actually attach this piece right here is down here on the bottom. Having an inverted cone makes it easier to get a completely covered cone, because it's easier to wind the coil from smaller to large than it is to keep it tight going from large to small, if that makes sense. Okay. So I just want to be 100% clear about all of those things, because I don't want you to think that you're going to be able to get a cone that doesn't have openings in it, because you're definitely going to have cones that your coils, you can see through them. Do you see what I'm saying? So my way to fix this is to use the coiled wire. The coiled wire, because it's nice and thick, it's large diameter, means that I can fill in the spaces. Now you can see there's still some spaces in between there, but they're not nearly as defined as the spaces here. So the thicker the wire you use, the larger the diameter, obviously the tighter your coil on your cone is going to be. There's lots of C words today that are really hard to say. Coils and cones and all of the things. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So with this knowledge in hand, we're going to leave that medium-sized cone, that's this one that we just used, on the coiling or on the Conetastic, but with our coiled wire that we just made. And we will be able to create this versus this. Okay. So to do that, we are, as I mentioned, going to leave our cone on here. This is the medium-sized one. Okay. And I'm going to take another piece of 20 gauge wire. I like the 20 gauge for this over the 22, just because it has a little bit more structure to it. It's a little sturdier than the 22, but the 22 will work. But you do want to have something that kind of has you know, 24 gauge I think would just be too thin. All right, so what we're going to do is exactly what I just showed you. We're going to take our wire, we are going to stick it through the hole, and we're going to bend it down, hold that with our finger, and we are going to start coiling around the base of the cone here. And then once we've gone around about 4 times, we're going to take the tail end. This is not enough wire. Hold on. Let me cut another piece of wire so that we don't end up short. Try that again. Sorry. I just don't want to get halfway through it and have not had enough wire to create the coil. All right. Oh no. Dropped it on the floor. Okay. So, just like so. All right. So, just like I said, we're going to coil around probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Okay. Then we're going to hold all that in place. So, I'm holding it with my finger. Not anymore. Mine's the I got a new one. They sent me one. So the one I used to have did not have the grippy on it. It was just plain metal. Because I had like, you know, the original, but no, they finally upgraded me and sent me one with the grippy. I don't know where the other one is. All right, I'm going to take the opposite end of my wire and I'm going to thread on my coil. So I'm just going to thread that on. You demand the OG. I don't know where it's at. It's in the box of tools that have now gone to pasture. All right, now you're going to continue to coil around, but this time you're doing it with your 20 gauge wire that has that coil over the top of it. And I'm going slow because it is a little different now that I have the coiled wire on top of the 20 gauge wire. So I'm not coiling as fast. I'm going nice and slow, being very meticulous about wrapping the wire around. Okay, I'm getting close to the top here. Ouch. I keep poking myself with the tail of the wire. All right, so now I have made it up here to the top of the cone and I can let go. Okay. Now I need to separate this coiled wire from the 20 gauge that is on the inside. So to do that, I am just going to use either your tools or your fingernails. I'm just going to kind of pull the wire apart, pull the coil apart so that I can get some spacing in there. And then I can come in with my cutter and I can trim the coil and then pull the leftover piece off, right? And finish off the top of this with just the plain 20 gauge wire to make a little loop at the top. Okay. Then I'm going to trim the 20 gauge. Okay. And now I'm going to trim down here, right where the wire is going through that little hole. I'm going to trim that wire as well. That will allow me to slide the cone off of the tool. Okay. I used to have a green one too, Susie. So when they very first started making them, they had a green sleeve on them. And then the green sleeve was really thin and it would slide off, which is probably how mine ended up just being the plain metal. And then they kind of beefed it up with this chunky stuff and started making the chunky ones in green. And then I don't know why, but they decided not to do green anymore. Now they do this weird, like, iridescent whatever. But it's good because it's really grippy, so you can hold on to it really tightly. All right, so this is what we've got. We've got our little cone now, and you can see it is just like a bead, right? Because it's got a hole all the way through it. You can use this, as I mentioned, to put on the ends of multi-strand designs to cover up all the ends coming together. You can put this on the ends of your kumihimo. You can make little earrings out of this. You can make anything out of it that you want. I'm going to trim off at least one row of the coil off the bottom. It just seems like a lot. This one I left it. I don't know. I wanted to trim this one off. I'm also going to take my pliers, and right at the end, I just broke my pliers. I'm always breaking these. Do you guys have this happen? This little piece on the inside, I break mine all the time. I don't know why. Those two little pieces that touch each other that make this have resistance. You can see I already broke it on the bent chain nose. Now I just broke it on the regular chain nose. So now there's no resistance. There's no springy. I have to do all that with my own hand. But every pair of pliers I've ever had, I have done that too. Every pair. Okay, so I'm going to take the tail end of that little wire right there, and I'm just going to just gently tuck that to the inside. That's just so that it doesn't get hung on anything. So regardless if I make earrings out of this or a pendant out of it or whatever, I don't have to worry about that getting hung on anything. So I just tuck that to the inside. Okay. All right. So now we're almost done. Like, this is pretty quick little project here. Now we're just going to dress this up with some beads. So I have some little red check fire polish. I'm going to take 3 for the bottom to hang. I'm going to put them on the ends of some chain to dangle from the bottom, and then 1 on the top, like the star on our tree. Okay. Also going to be using an eye pin to do that. So I'll grab myself an eye pin. Oh, I do need 3 head pins too. Just remembered. So these little short head pins, I'll use those. All right, so let's wire wrap these 3. They're going to go onto the bottom of our pieces of chain, our little chain dangles. You don't have to do chain dangles if you don't want to. In fact, you could just leave this as is without any dangles at all, and it looks cute. I just like the extra, you know, the little extra movement. So it's sort of like a little tassel, but you don't have to do that part. But we're going to wire wrap 3 of our little beads, and then we will add these to some chain. Oh, that's not even a head pin. It was just a piece of wire scrap. It's too funny. Do I have another teeny tiny little head pin? I do not appear to have another one that small. Let's see. I don't know why I've been using these tiny ones in the first place. Let's just replace those with the larger ones. The small ones are fine because you don't have a lot of waste, which I really like, but there. Okay. So each one of our little beads. All right, so wrapped loops on these. Drop that down onto your head pin, bend the wire over the top of the pliers. Then you're going to come in with your round nose pliers, up and over, rotate the pliers, take the wire over to the other side, and then you're going to wire wrap in that space. Oops. Wanda, you are so funny. Wanda, are you going to make it tonight to the I Heart Jules live? You got to be there. You got to be there. I need your sense of humor to lighten the mood. All right, so there's one. I'm going to do 2 more. And you can do as many of these as you want, obviously, or none at all. It's really just to kind of give you an idea. You have a hot date with Eric. Oh my, does he know? Is he aware? All right, trim off the extra. And then we'll do one more. Yeah, so for those of you who miss seeing Eric on the Art Beads lives, he will be with me tonight on, well, I mean, he won't be with me in person, but he will be, he's the one moderating the stream for iHeartJules.com tonight. So he will be in the chat hanging out with all the peeps. So if you want to stop by and say hey, obviously we would love if you would stay for the entire show, because I will be doing a giveaway, some really beautiful gold earrings, and I'll be showing off all kinds of fun jewelry. So I mean, who doesn't want to look at sparkly things? Even if you don't buy anything, you can just come and get inspiration maybe for things that you want to make, you know? Okay, so now I need some chain. We need some chain. And I don't know for sure how long I want my chain pieces to be. So we're going to start with one. I'm just going to hook that onto the end of my eye pin. And I'm not going to close that eye pin yet, but I am going to go ahead and thread that onto my tree and let that chain hang from the bottom so that I can decide how long I want and then trim that off. And then I can add more. It's okay if you're late. I just want you to come hang out. It's going to be fun. So there's that one. And then I'm going to put another one on there. And I'm just kind of trimming these against the first one that I cut. So they're all different lengths. All right. So I've got 3 pieces of chain. I'm going to go ahead now and close up that loop on my eye pin. And then before I put this on the inside of the tree, let's add our dangles to the end of this. So you could use a jump ring here if you wanted to. I'm actually going to just very gently open each one of the ends of the chain. So I'm just kind of opening it up just like an eye pin, or a jump ring or an eye pin, whatever, same thing. And twisting to close that back. You just want to be sure that if you do open the links of your chain, that you do get them closed back, because sometimes they're so tiny it's hard to see if you actually have it closed or not, and then you go to put it on and your bead falls off the end. Listen, I will put a dangle on anything. Nothing is free from my dangles. Okay. I'll put dangles on the bottom of my Christmas tree. I'll put them on my birthday cake. I'll put them on a cookie. Listen, I'm telling you, don't threaten me with a good time. I will put a dangle on it. Challenge accepted. Whatever it is. Dangle must be had. Okay, there we go. So there are my little dangle-doos. One of them is facing the wrong direction. Let's fix it. My wire wraps. I want my wire wraps to all be facing the same way because I am a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my dangles, okay? Can't just be any old willy-nilly dangle. It's got to be the right dangle. There we go. I want to know what a dangle on a cookie would be. It would be made from chocolate ganache, and it would probably have like a cherry hanging from it or something. I don't know. I will figure that out and let you know. Okay, so now I have my dangles. I'm going to thread that on, and you can see it just pops right through the top of the tree, and that hangs nicely on the bottom. And we'll add our bead on the top and do a wrapped loop, and we have a beautiful little Christmas tree pendant that you could do anything with. You can make two and turn them into earrings. I think they're super cute. Okay, hold on. I'm going to figure out the placement of everything here. So coming in with my round nose pliers, mini chocolate chip dangles on a cookie. Yes, please. Snow, dangles, and hair. We are complete. Listen, doesn't get any better than that. Throw in a Diet Coke and a Hallmark movie, and I am done. All right. It's funny. I was at the salon this morning, actually, and we were talking about Hallmark movies. We were talking about how, you know, that song, The Christmas Shoes? It's like the saddest Christmas song in the history of Christmas songs ever. We were talking about how, I don't think Hallmark is the one who did it, but one of those companies, like Hallmark, took that song and turned it into a movie, a Christmas movie, like a full-length Christmas movie, because the song by itself wasn't sad enough. We needed to make a full-length feature film out of it as well. Yeah. All right, so there you go. You got a little dangle, and now you can add ear wire or jump ring or whatever. I'm just gonna add a jump ring to mine, and because I can't make earrings out of them because they're two different colored greens, but you know, but I got two pendants out of it, so it's okay. So I'm just gonna add a jump ring, and we are done. I love these so much. What would the chocolate chips dangle from? Ganache. I don't know. So ganache is really the only thing I can think of that's like sturdy enough. I mean, you could use like the icing that stiffens up, I guess. I don't know. Edible string. Edible chain. I have no idea. All right. Jump ring on top. Then that way I can just thread it onto whatever I want to thread it onto. In this case, it's just going to be a piece of chain because we are keeping it easy. And there you go. Royal ice. Yeah, royal icing. So you could do like drips of royal icing and let that have your dangles hang from it. Or the royal icing could just be the dangles. You know what I mean? How cute is that? I love it. It's so cute. So cute. Add sprinkles to a cookie and call it a pendant. Yeah, of course. Listen. Oh, yay. I'm glad you guys like this. I think they're really, really cute. I love the coiled wire on the Conetastic. And so, of course, I think of Christmas trees when I see that. However, you can turn these into other things. Hang on. I think I have an example. Let's see. Or at least I thought I had an example. I might not. Oh, I do. So I have some other examples here of the cones as
other things. So this one's coming apart a little bit. What about this one? So this is seen better days because it's been in a container. So my cone has gone a little lopsided here, but so I just took this cone and then put a cone bead at the bottom, right? To make a pendant out of that if you wanted to. I have a cone in like a turquoisey color. And you can always put like a bead in it. Like this is not a big enough bead, but if you had a bigger bead, you know, something like that. Ideally, a nice large round bead would look really pretty, you know, or even a teardrop bead. If you had a really large teardrop bead, you could put in here if you wanted to. But you can use these for all kinds of things. That's why I like them. I think the cones are fun just to kind of add fun texture to other designs. So, you know, they don't just have to be Christmas trees. They can be literally anything you want them to be. And they're pretty. It's a really cool way to show off the different colors of the artistic wire. They're so bold and bright. I really, really like those. So just some ideas for you. All right. So a gnome hat. Exactly. I'm going to turn you guys around. And we will do a little more chatting and then we will go. At least for a little while, right? So Hardwired will be meeting this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I got to go do something about this hair. Actually, it's kind of driving me crazy. Hardwired will be meeting this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're making some really pretty snowflake earrings. And then, of course, I will be live again. Look how cute that is. I could hang it correctly. That'd be super cute. Oh, I love that. Could do it in totally different colors and it does not even have to be Christmas. You could do this in copper coiled wire or antique brass wire and hang like little gears and cogs from it, like the little charm ones. It could be very steampunk. Like you can use your imagination with this. That could be the skirt of an angel bead or the entire body of an angel bead if you wanted it to be. Like there are so many fun things that you could do with a cone and just coiled wire in general. So yeah, super cute. Super cute. All right. So again, reminders. I will be live this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern for our Hardwired. Then I will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight on iHeartJewels.com. Okay. And I will be showing off some of my favorite things, some of the iHeartJewels team's favorite things. And Eric will be there moderating. He'll be hanging out in the comments. There's going to be a giveaway. We're going to give away a beautiful pair of gold earrings. I am just going to try it out and see what happens. It's one of those kinds of things. Like we're testing this out. This iHeartJewels company, I had shopped with them before. I had fallen in love with their jewelry and had a really wonderful shopping experience with them. And then they had actually approached Eric and asked him if he would help them try out live stream selling on their website. And so I volunteered, as always, because I love all jewelry. All jewelry is good jewelry. I volunteered to run their test stream for them. So that's what's happening tonight, but we're making an extra special. It's not just a one-time thing. We're hoping that it will turn into something more. But we really want to get eyes on the website. Like I said, their website is relatively new. The company itself is over 50 years old, but their iHeartJewels website is fairly new. So we're just going to try to help drive some eyes and some customers to that website while also offering some amazing deals on beautiful pieces of jewelry. Right now they have Black Friday pricing going on. It's like 70 to 80% off store wide. Plus I will have some additional discounts on top of that for some select pieces tonight. So you definitely want to come check it out, at least see what they've got going on over on iHeartJewels.com. See what kinds of pieces of jewelry are there. Maybe get a jump start on your Christmas shopping if you haven't started shopping yet. It's a good opportunity to get some really good discounts on some beautiful finished pieces of jewelry. So please come over and hang out tonight if you can, and share it with all your friends and family, because you never know who might be shopping for a new piece of jewelry. So come on over and hang out. Your support means absolutely everything to me. Even if you don't spend anything at all, just having you there means the world to me, because everywhere I go, I like to take my community with me, right? We are family. So of course you are invited to come and hang out with me and play around and chill with each other and chat with each other in the comment section, because it's really calming to me. I know that sounds weird, but to know that you guys are there, it makes me more relaxed and comfortable. And, who knows what other people may join that live that don't know about jewelry and don't know about jewelry making. And we might just meet some new makers tonight too. So you just never know. So appreciate everybody, your continued support of all my adventures. I definitely appreciate it. And if you can join tonight, great. If you can't, you can watch the replay. It'll be available to watch over again. And of course, the replay will maintain its shoppability. So you can also click on the links when you're watching the replay if you need to. Okay. All right, friends. I love you so, so much. Hardwired. I will see you later. The rest of you, I hope I see you tonight at 7 p.m. If I don't, that's okay. I'll see you on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern for our Feel Good Friday show. Okay. I love you. Bye, guys.